How is everybody doing today? In this video, we are going to go over Vivian and Hugo when it comes to the teams that they're going to be on or what they're going to do in the meta in regards to, of course, 1.7 is coming very close with Vivian and Hugo. Vivian being anomaly based and Hugo being attack based. They're both in their own separate world. And then, of course, 2.0 is going to be later down the line, which we don't have drip marketing for quite a minute. And when that ends up happening, holy, is that going to be a big storm of waiting and should we skip and all that type of stuff. But realistically, looking at Vivian first, Vivian is going to be ether anomaly, which is really nice. And not only that, with her being anomaly, she already has a crazy cast of characters for her to be basically working with. We have Miyabi, Yanagi, Bernice. We also have Jane, which many of these characters without a doubt, and we can include Grace if you want to, and Piper too. Many of these characters without a doubt are able to just work with anyone in their team for the most part, depending on the playstyle that you're playing these characters in. For the most part, Bernice is going to be someone that is a little bit more off field, someone that's going to allow you to be able to take advantage of those burn procs and the disorders without her necessarily being on field. And they have characters like Miyabi who could end up being the hyper carry or the one that's on field most of the time. Yanagi forcing disorders, Jane of course having that more offensive playstyle similar to something like Miyabi. With having Vivian into the game, she's going to allow us to do something in the same fashion as Bernice, but also in the same way as Yanagi, because as you can see, she is someone that is able to do things off field for the most part. She's able to give off these ether attacks that are able to give disorders and also, I guess you could say, duplicate the disorders, which is really freaking strong at the end of the day, which is really freaking cool to see. That a bloom proc that you see procking onto the enemy, that is going to be the duplicated disorder, if I'm not wrong. That is just for her for the most part, which is really strong and something that I can see being very good when it comes to the anomaly teams that are going to be coming out. So with this being said, with her already being someone who can not only duplicate disorders, but someone who's able to stay in a little bit more of an off-field slash very quick swap nature of an anomaly character, something like Miyabi, something like Jane, they're both going to love this character without a single doubt, just because these two can stay on the field as much as they possibly want, and then they're able to, of course, be able to benefit from the duplicated disorders, the duplicated reactions that Vivian's able to give off as her off-field attacks go on. Now, the main thing I kind of want to understand when it comes to something like Vivian is, although she is duplicating disorders, she's duplicating the reactions that she's doing for the most part with, of course, all the other characters in the cast. Does this duplication work towards Miyabi? Because we know if Miyabi gets disorders in her team, she ends up getting 2 points of her freeze frost stacks. I forgot what they're called 100%. But being able to do so, I really wonder if that's gonna proc twice for Miyabi or if it's only gonna proc once, which in all honesty, I'm expecting it to only do once, because if it did twice, that would be very, and I mean very strong without a single down. As you can see right there, a couple moments ago in the stream, there was like 4 of bloom procs. Look at that. 1, 2, and I think there's, oh no, there's a disorder in the background. So you have 2 of bloom procs, 1 from the shock and 1 from the disorder. So not only are you getting the shock damage, the disorder damage, but you're also getting the 2 of bloom procs that are coming off of those 2 separate reactions. So I really wonder how they're going to work around this. It looks like, for the most part, a bloom is just going to be the damage modifier, just like aftershock for the most part, or even the totalize reaction that is specific to Vivian only, and I probably won't see Miyabi hold attack 3 happening every 2 seconds. So if that was the case, that'd be a little busted. But being able to see that the more reactions you get, the more value Vivian brings, and being able to see that you have characters like Yanagi 100% being one of the better characters to be put alongside Vivian, and even more so, even Bernice possibly as well, with Vivian, Bernice, and maybe even Yanagi, because looking at how they play, Vivian and Bernice don't take up a lot of screen time because they're able to do off with their off-field effects, and then with that being said, they're able to give off their own damage in their own ways. Having a character like Jane and Miyabi put in the mix, That's going to allow them to do their job while also benefiting from Bernice and also Vivian. Or if you don't have Bernice, now you have that off-field character like Vivian, who is able to just abuse the amount of reactions that you're potentially able to get with characters like Bernice, Miyabi, Jane, Yanagi, all these different characters. And even for those that are using Piper, Vivian is just overall going to be a very strong character for the Anomaly team without a doubt. She's 100% one of the more in priority when it comes to the characters that you're going to be pulling for. But of course, we don't know where this is going to lead us into 2.0. She does seem that she is going to allow us to have, of course, that off-field ether damage, which, holy crap, there's so much going on. She's going to give us that off-field ether damage, which is something that's going to be future viable 100% of the way. Same thing goes for Bernice. They both are in a spot where they're just able to do their job, and not many people are going to replace them unless they outright get another character that is literally in the same vein or fashion of what they do. Vivian, on the other hand, is supposed to be, in my opinion, a level 2 Bernice. She's able to give off-field ether application. She's able to duplicate the reaction damage with her bloom, which is super strong. And with her being off-field, like I said already, this allows you to have that more hyper carry style of gameplay, or allows you to just use a character that wants to have field time. And oh my god, you see how many disorders that she just got off of that, or how many bloom procs from Yanagi's skill. Absolutely disgusting for the most part, but she's going to allow you to be able to get, of course, the off-field damage, ether application, and not only that, she's able to do the duplication of the reactions, which is going to allow her to be a very, very strong disorder or anomaly based member, which I don't see getting replaced anytime soon, which is a very good thing. Is for people that are going for this character that want to know if she's future proof. She's 100% future proof. Even with the design philosophy that the developers told us, they want every character to be future proof for the most part, but this character specifically, she's just good on any anomaly team, duplicating all the reactions, no matter if they're disorders or the natural elements themselves, off-field damage, and then not only that, very, very low field time on the team, which is really, really strong overall. It allows you to play with these more hyper carry centered anomaly characters like Jane, like Miyabi, like Piper, all of these characters that you may put on the teams together, and of course Yanagi too. Hugo, on the other hand, when it comes to him, Hugo's a really, really weird subject because of how he plays. Now, he is bringing a brand new playstyle to the attacking team, which is very exciting. I always love new gameplay. He looks really clean, in my opinion, without a doubt. The only problem with Hugo is he really needed? Hugo is going to be an attacker for ice that is going to go around with the mechanic of totalize, and totalize is going to allow you to trade in your stun bar for damage buffs, for damage. And I think that's really cool. And this is not only the only thing you get from it, you also get a good amount of days refunded as well after you take away the stun bar. So usually the DPS window you would use to do all your ults, do all your skills, he can take it away. As you can see right now on the stream, he made it go from chain attack stun all the way to 25 days. So you do get compensated a little bit more for the days that you are going to rock with, and he wants to be around stun centered characters, which this is very interesting because I wonder, when you're playing with Hugo, is he going to be a character where sometimes you want to take in that totalize mechanic, go crazy with your stun characters, maybe use their ultimates, go back into the stun bar, and then with the totalize buff that you have, or the additional crit rate, crit damage, attack that you're getting from Hugo, are you wanting to go back into the stun as soon as possible to use those buffs and to quickly go ahead and make use of them? That is something that we're gonna have to wait and see for when he comes out. Sadly, when looking at Hugo, he's of course going to be in his own type of team. As I said before, he does want to be in a more stun center team, but we have many characters out at the current moment that make it so that you really don't have to pull for him, just because looking at what team options we have, looking at both attack and anomaly, because of course there's 2 teams and maybe even 3 teams to consider about when looking at all the end game content that we have in Zenless. Already talked about the anomaly characters. We have Yanagi, we have Miyabi, we have Jane, Bernice, Vivian, all these characters that are out for anomaly. Those are already a team. You could technically make 2 teams if you had Miyabi, Yanagi, and Bernice and Jane. You already have 2 teams for the most part. Looking into the attack characters, we already have many, and I mean many characters that have come out that allow you to make teams for them, of course, with the addition of Hugo coming in the future. Characters like Harumasa, a free S rank that is 100% viable and very, very strong, no matter how you look at it. We have characters like Evelyn, who just came out, that is a monster when it comes to not only being able to do off-field damage, a little bit off-field damage, because you still technically have to switch back in, but has off-field damage, has the potential to do some insane power when it comes to using her chain attacks and being able to manipulate those during those windows. And then we have other characters like Julian, who's still kicking. We have characters like Ambi, who just came out and who is absolutely amazing as well. There's just so many attacking options plus anomaly centered teams that we don't necessarily need Hugo. Hugo is a very weird character. Not saying that you shouldn't pull for him, it's just that in the priority list of characters to pull, and in regards to how important these characters are going to be in the future, with, you know, them being future proof with the teams that they are going to be on, can this character help out multiple characters? It seems like this is going to be the more of the powerhouse unit that you want to build towards, not really somebody that you take on a team to help out other teams, you know. And for those that want to play this new playstyle of trading in your stun window, trading in, you know, all those resources to get a big cash out, I'm assuming later down the line, that is something for you to test out and see if you like. Of course, using the trial, maybe even the content creator experience server stuff, that is all going to be within you to try out to see if you like this character. Vivian 100% is going to be the MVP of this patch, without a doubt. Hugo, on the other hand, very hard to, I guess you could say, suggest people to pull for, because he does seem like he's trying to start his own team and he wants his own set of characters, which are going to be stunners. And with that being said, he just doesn't provide anything different than a lot of the other characters that we already have in the game. Like I said, some of the anomaly teams, we have Sambi, we have Evelyn, we have Harumasa, we have all these amazing characters that are already in that attacking role that Hugo's fighting against a bunch of people to be able to be in their spot. Well, Vivian, she's the best in slot off-field anomaly agent, so it is really hard to compare the two when it comes to the value that both of them are bringing. But other than that, that is going to be it for this video when talking about Hugo and also Vivian. I'm very excited for both of them. Hugo looks really fun, and the way he fights, I'm just a very big fan of it. Vivian, on the other hand, seems to be very, very strong in all that she's able to do, and a character that, without a doubt, if you pull her, you are 100% going to enjoy the more quality of life and very valuable kit that she brings into bringing more damage to the team, being able to, you know, do that off-field damage, being able to do the what's it called, try to remember everything that she has: duplicated damage, off-field damage, ether application off-field, which is all really good stuff. So other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. See you on the next one, and peace.